So no, for real. Woke up and still. Oh, I was supposed to get up and cut that grass today. I didn't get up early enough. I was sleeping too good. So guess what? It will be put off. Um, it just will cause I don't be put. I don't. I like to cut it early in the morning. Get it over with. Um, I can't remember any dreams I had last night. I think I had some. And even woke up around like 2 or 3. Can't remember that. I can't remember not even one detail of it. So anyway, I just a few minutes ago still had a thought about that. What I was talking about yesterday, and I do try not to bring yesterday into today, but sometimes it just really tries to um follow. And yeah, it's just still making me think because I'm just like I'm still kind of feeling appalled at that whole situation. Another reason I fell asleep at probably like 11, maybe earlier last night. I think it's because me personally, I can if I choose to do something. I don't want to say that I don't got no business doing, but it might not be the best thing. I could tend to get wrapped up in it for real until I accomplish a certain goal, and so I fell asleep, and I just feel like that is God's way of protecting me from getting into a sticky situation or anything like that. Um, so I don't know. Maybe that's why I fell asleep, slept real good. Besides waking up at around 2 or 3, and then slept good on until just about 10 minutes ago. So yeah, like I said, I'm still still thinking about that that phrase in the dream, like And I guess too, because I went back and read some of the emails and stuff that I wrote to him, and Lord, there was a lot of them that was jumbled up. I don't see how he. Sometimes I'm just like, I don't see how you pushed through and read any of it, but because I was just typing so fast that I didn't care. Like I didn't go back and proofread and edit. So yeah, but depending on the time frame and stuff like that, I probably knew what I was talking about. But went and read that, and I don't usually go into that stuff. Those are like the archives because I don't be wanting to. I never be wanting to hear anything, most of anything that he had to say because of how he says it. He, of course, got a cuss and called me a bitch and what else, and just I mean, it's just a nasty tone about it. And I just be like, I would say I could back in the day put up with it and because if it gets his point across and where I can understand it and when he's talking to me instead of just talking at me or just just saying something just to be snappy, yeah, but definitely just felt like you need to find a better way to communicate because your tone and your position you take about stuff. But and I guess too that would bother me because I'm like I can imagine now he probably know how to damn communicate or he choosing to communicate in a more respectful manner and tone with somebody, but and that's what I did like slight acknowledge regarding the female. I was like, well, sounds like he's at a more respectable or respectful. I said respectable or respectful place or something in his life or whatever. And I guess even over in the vicinity with her or something. But yeah, it was disrespectful and I was feeling like, well, you for one, you wasn't done over here. For two, it felt like you didn't even get started over here. And for three, like No, you don't supposed to just jump into somebody else now. I truly feel like that, though. You don't supposed to just jump into somebody else's household and think you go get your stuff together or whatever after you left a big mess. It's one thing if you didn't leave a huge mess of somewhere else, but it's another thing if you um if you cleaned up a little bit, straightened up even, and then you moseyed on, and again you did it in a more respectable way. But so I was just like, oh, so yeah, still thinking about that, and still, of course, I read my own emails, and yeah, a lot of that stuff that I said to him, it still stands, except for the fact that I don't be around him. It still stands, and I was just already telling him, it sucks for you that you felt like that's what you had to do, as opposed to doing it another way. Like what I try to teach my sons is like, if you, of course, I don't feel like they at that age, but you never know when they could be. And one of my sons did tell me that, well, they both told me, they prefer girls and this, that, and the third, but they not really. I don't think that they're really looking in that direction as of right now. Thank God for that, but it don't really take nothing but for them to be in a different type of environment and see a pretty face. And even my son, my youngest son, when he was in the pool, there was a little girl who wanted to play with him, and he played. He asked me nothing. He ain't double check. No nothing. And then it was so crazy because the little girl, her dad was out there, and the little girl, I think the little girl said she was scared. My son mentioned, "You a scaredy cat," and that was just enough for her to tell her dad, "Dad, he's being mean to me." Oh, that bothered me because I'm like, oh my God, that's how easy it can happen. When somebody, she spoke that about herself, but she got offended when he said the same thing, and that's what I'm kind of like, oh shoot, I don't want, I don't want them to come off like that, but at the same time, let me look at it like this. If I say, oh gosh, I feel scared. Of course, kids don't know to say I feel scared more so than I am scared, but uh, and then the dude was like, oh, you just a scaredy cat. I don't know how, I mean, I ain't gonna feel great about it, but I don't feel like I'm going to tell nobody that he said that. And so, Lord, these was, my son is 6 years old, soon to be 7. So it's like, oh my goodness, that's what we got to deal with. Like, that's how easy and how quickly something can turn into mess. And so, of course, her dad at the pool with her, he looking like, what's going on with my daughter? I died quickly. I was right there with my son at that point in time. I was like, what'd you say to her? And he told me, I was like, oh Lord, well, that's one of them ones you just need to get away. You got to stay away from, because if they get offended by stuff like that, that you see it, because I'm not that type of female, where you could just, anything just offends me. Like, no, you gotta say something can offend me, and try to penetrate, but you gotta really say some stuff, baby. So, I definitely, once I see stuff like that, and when they're young, I go ahead and try to, and not try, but go ahead and submit it to God, and I definitely pray. I don't really know how to pray about it. Like, I don't know specific about, besides that, I don't want them to experience people like, I don't want them to be around people like that. Like, girl, if the wind blow wrong, you're ready to tell your daddy. It's fine that you want to tell your dad. That's because I've done taught my sons. I was like, let me tell you something. You go out here and you offending these females and stuff like that. They got uncles, cousins, brothers, and sometimes dads that they could tell and stuff like that, and probably ain't gonna be pretty. So let's but that's the thing. I just don't want my boys even mistaken as being those types of guys, um, because they're not. But just because they're not gonna be scared to speak up for themselves, and I want them to speak up for themselves. And if I'm just gotta teach them and pray that if you're in a place where you can't speak up for yourself, speak up regarding something, you share your opinion or whatever one time, and then it's not well received, or somebody try to make a mountain out of a molehill, you you better hightail it up out of there. That's my perspective. That's my opinion. So of course I need help with stuff like that, and I'm really at the point where I'm like, oh Lord, I want a male's perspective. Seriously, I'm fine with mine, but I really do. As they're getting older, and I mean, thank God they are individuals, and God is. I trust that God is pouring into them. They do have their own mind, especially that old. I mean, both of them, but especially my older one. He. I would call it goes off on a tangent, but he goes off and he don't go anywhere physical, but he will do his own thing, and he, you know what I'm saying? And that's, I know it's part of it's being shaped by some of the people that he interact with online and stuff like that, which is kind of cool, but also kind of not. And so, yeah, that's that or whatever. But I don't want mine. I want girls to feel like they're precious and this, that, and the third, and like you can't just say anything to them. But I don't know, man. That part is scary because it's like, honey, don't do my sons because they do got a mama, and I will say something to you. So, that's how you feel or whatever. That's how I feel, and that's, that just came up as well. And so, and that's my thing. It's like, you, MF, regarding, oh, what's his name? Like, you really like, that's the whole setup because you want me to raise them and do that thing on my own to where I can't have no male input and actually get good results. So, because that to me, of course, that makes me feel like you want me to have bad results. You want me to go wrong with them. You want me to not be able to teach them properly and stuff like that. And so, yep, still on today. He needs to be held accountable. I don't care where he at, what's going on here. He needs to be held accountable for that. Whether it's just, when I say held accountable, sometimes I just mean God holding you accountable, putting it in your mind that you do have children, male children, and they need the proper training. And so even if you just pray that God send them and give them that, in some type of form or fashion, but you know, and that's if his prayers would even be genuine or not be amiss, like praying, oh, well, I want them to get that, but I don't want their mama to have no man. Like something like I'm just really being serious. Like people can do like that and feel like that, and not saying that God listens to that, but God hears that. I don't mean that God does exactly what, but yeah, that's all. Hey, I'm fine if wherever he at, and you are going to church or something like that, and you having and developing a relationship with God, developing a closer relationship, then yeah, you put your sons in the prayer, put me in the prayers um how to parent them, so I don't have to try to feel like I gotta open that door to just, especially just anybody. But I don't know. I'm not sitting here fronting. I'm not saying that I don't want to open the door to somebody because I do. I just don't want it to be no type of enemy regarding and no type of predator regarding me and my kids and thinking that we are prey. Because no, we pray, P-R-A-Y. We not P-R-E-Y. So, but it's real out here, so that part, gotta think about that. And for me as a mom, I gotta think about that with my boy is just the same and similar as I was thinking about it with my daughter. But I don't know, with my daughter, that was my first child. I'm not saying I was experimenting with her, but I'm not saying that I wouldn't. But she was my first child, but I still was protective of her. I'm like, oh no, 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 no. Because one dude was like, don't we feel like she was sitting on the bed with me and him one day watching TV or something. He was like, don't we feel like a family? I was like, no. Her daddy right around the corner, baby. Absolutely not. No. And so, I don't know what he had going on, was trying to do, and don't want to really mention this, but I am. Next time I seen him, he just was not in the best physical appearing. Like by physical appearance, he wasn't in the best shape at all. I'm like, dang, chopped you right on down the sides. But anywho, um, yeah. So definitely still protective regarding my boys, and I could just hope that they're not gonna go through nothing silly, nothing stupid. But I know that, and me personally, again, I wasn't the female that was putting people's sons through miserable, crazy stuff. I just wasn't, and I'm glad. That's one area where I'm like, I'm glad I chose not to. Now, people young sons, should I say, people grown sons, I still wasn't really trying to put them through nothing. I was just trying to make them feel better, make myself feel better, utilizing them. But honey, God know them dates back in time, and if something and where something occurred, and where I might have had somebody messed up. So, but I tried not to. I really did, not even knowing or thinking that I was gonna have sons one day, especially not just one but two. I just tried my best, baby, to just make sure, you know, don't do it. Just don't do it. Um, yeah, I'm like, I don't even know where that conversation came from. How it came from me thinking about what the person said in a dream to going to, how my son's gonna interact in this world. Like, but yeah, because you're not only, as a mother, you gonna be having that concern regarding all your kids, but you're not only fear for your daughter sometimes, but your sons too. And honestly, specifically because they hear, of course, but especially my sons. Like, even if my daughter was here, like, boy, don't play with my sons though. Do not play with neither one of them. And even though the older one, they all get on my nerves at some point in time, but the older one is just he's similar to me in ways that I can't even describe, but in ways that I can describe, but then he's still different, and it's like that's my sweetheart right there. Don't mess with him. Even though he be getting on my nerves and he be trying his little brother and stuff like that, don't mess with him. And so, and that's one thing. I guess too, like with that thing as far as again her saying that in the dream. Oh, I read all her long ass. I read her long, not all. See, I'm adding stuff now. I read her long ass letters. That's what I'm like. I don't know if it's in these videos. If any of them have came across my videos and stuff like that where I be talking and talking and talking, and it's like, you don't get no insight into my life, baby. I didn't invite you. I didn't welcome you. And I don't do that. Because to me, it's still you trying to find some type of way to get, no. Don't bother. And so, and honey, and I wouldn't be surprised if people in the town was talking about, oh yeah, she always have a certain device and she be doing this or whatever. Like, literally people have watched me doing that, try to watch me making my videos or when I take my devices out and stuff like that. Yes, I definitely will. I'm recording and whatever because I'm just chilling out, but and try to pique somebody's interest on. Let me go see let me try to search and find what she got going on. Trying to pinpoint. No, baby, if you want to know what's going on with me, then you would either remain when you was close, or you will of course you will seek God, period. You know what I'm saying? But or you will, do what's proper in order to remain around somebody, remain in somebody's life. And you know what? That might be what my so-called or previously known parents feel like. How dare she put us out her life? I mean, it's my option, it's my choice. I don't do it with no bad intentions or to be mean or anything. I do that because I am protective of myself, and y'all not gonna keep. It's one thing I don't even really let them hurt me. They have upset me, but y'all not gonna get to the point where you gonna try to hurt me. That's how I look at it. Cause I don't want to try to hurt you back, and then people want to call it disrespect or dishonor or this, and I'm like, honey, they will be appalled if you do that stuff. The same thing that they try to do to you, right back to them. And I'm definitely not trying to do that. Like that's just, I'd rather. I see myself when my so-called mom was saying something to me, and I was just like, um, and I had asked her something, and she was like, I don't gotta answer that. But then the next week, you called me, telling me and informing me about something, and I felt like I wanted to hang. Well, no, she didn't call me. She texted me, and I didn't want to say nothing. But when she hung up in my face when I asked her something, and I was just like, I'm like, how do you feel like you able to do that? But then you turn around and you basically expecting something from me, but I'm asking something from you, and you don't feel like you got an answer, honey. I had to literally go in prayer and just take it to God to keep from saying something real ugly to her. So yeah, it took all of that. I'm thankful that God came through with it, and then I've started to feel like, well, why in the four-letter word does she is she able to do that to me? And I was feeling like, and I don't give a damn about the label of supposed to be mom or this, that, and the third, but I can't. And so no, so it was best that I just, because if I can't say nothing, I don't want to be snappy, but it's probably gonna sound snappy. If I can't say nothing snappy back to them, then I don't want to be around them. Like, and not that I want to or choose to, but it's like I be wanting to have the conversations that might be difficult. And I don't know, maybe I'm wrong about that because they making it seem like it's very wrong to have those type of conversations. But yeah, not sitting around you and I know, honey, parents feel like I'm not your friend, so you're not gonna talk to me like that or whatever. That's understandable. That is. But on another hand, it's like I am grown and I'm, what I'm saying, I got feelings and I have a relationship with God, so I'm gonna tell you what you're not gonna do, and I'm just gonna have to do it in another type of way. So I don't know. I can only imagine that they may feel like that shit. They might not. They might not give a damn. Like this, what we wanted. This not what we wanted, but this is what we'll deal with. And so Anyway, with all that, that's some wild. It is some wild stuff to like not have no type of relationship, no dealings with the ones that conceived you, but it's not so far-fetched to me because of my relationship with God. And if he tell me, and if he told people in the Bible, leave out from amongst them, get away from certain relatives, then that's what you got to do. And in this case, he literally moved on me to like shut down to a lot of them, like pretty much all of them, because they all be trying to stay in connections and then end up they don't even be in cahoots or in agreement. But if it comes to me, oh, we're gonna all agree on the same thing regarding her, and especially if my so-called mom says it, oh, that's how she is, and it's like, oh, and that's when everybody will be like, oh, that's how she, and I'm like, so you're the one that planted the seed of I'm a certain whatever, because I've heard it too many times. I know how you are. I know what do you know about me? Because what about if I say something about you in your jail, being a jailbird, or you know what I'm saying, just anything, a molester. Anyway, so I don't know why I'm talking about this because I definitely didn't mean to go here, but God be in the midst. I just pray. I just continue to pray while I'm talking about that. God help me to forgive those who I once deemed as family, and of course, now I can refer to them, of course, as bloodline relatives and stuff like that. And then somebody just keep liking my posts and stuff on Facebook, and it's only just one person or whatever, and I'm just like, I almost feel annoyed, but I'm good on it. Like, cause I don't be needing no likes. You can read it, but I don't even need no likes or nothing like that. I'm not doing it for that. But it's certain ones that I be posting, and I just be like, oh Lord. Um. So yeah, I just want to continue to forgive relatives, and I just want to continue to forgive different people who have definitely offended me or upset me. Um. And took it further and felt like they could try me. Continue to forgive them on into this day. But I do feel like, hey, I'm good if I never see them people again. My daughter has even upset me and pretty much almost offended me, but that's not somebody that I don't want to, that I want to not see again. I actually want to continue because I just feel like I'm going to, so y'all won't stress me out in the so-called older generation. I'm going to, have something for my kids, if just in case they stress me out. Hopefully they don't, but just in case they stress me out. Y'all not finna, you know what I'm saying, make me so worn down and tired. And and I feel like too, if I did it when I was younger, that's something totally different. and y'all don't got the capacity to. I said no. I'm putting the responsibility back on whomever. So really just cause my own. So because I'm not around you, so you can't say I'm doing anything to you. Cause your own so-called mom or dad, to put the responsibility back on their own living parents or whoever else they around or whatever. Now they'll find somebody to put it on. But yeah, oh, she ain't around, so we go, no, you ain't finna do me, baby. Don't do me, honey. Um, no, you really need to learn to do yourself. Do yourself as far as what you got going on internally. Because I have definitely at least started that process. I'm not gonna say it's tough sometimes if and when God show you yourself and you need to correct this, but it ain't impossible. So with that said, to God be all the glory. He's showing me a positive side, even though I feel like I woke up on the not I don't want to say the wrong side of the bed, but because whatever side of the bed I wake up on, baby, it's the right side. But just woke up still feeling that stuff. Like, why would you dare give somebody access to me like that? There ain't no way. Or at least attempt to. Because when of course, they get to you, they still gotta go through me. Like, to get to me. But, I don't appreciate that none. I just don't. And, I don't it's so crazy because, again, loved this person, loved this man so deeply. But it's just the betrayal factor of it. It's like, why would you do that? Are you jealous? Are you just